Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. Oh, I forgot to grab Rhett. I should have. Sorry, Rhett. Totally forgot to get her. Let's see. We're still building here. So we are working on a table, a data table that's going to show the data. So like the structure of the visualization. So what happens is once you create it, I have this whole object, this entire dictionary that describes exactly how the application works. I mean, exactly how the complete the look of the things that I care about in the actual visualizations, and then and so like if you look over here, let's see, let me get my F12. I love the big keyboard. And then if I go to my console log and then I hit this and add viz, we get this entire object, right? And it's nice. The problem is that and it's so what got me thinking through this was like the pattern that I've seen a lot in a lot of places is what'll happen is you'll set something like this up. Um, So like a publisher, and you'll say, hey, I'm going to publish this sequence dictionary, right? Visualization IDs, which is a sequence dictionary. I'm going to publish that thing. And what is happening, and then if we go here to slash data and then slash entities, we get this thing and it shows that we don't have anything. Did we not add anything? I don't think, maybe I did. So now we have 7 things, right? Um, And if we add again, we have 14 things, which I think makes sense. But the thing is we have to go through this process of creating an old dictionary and then a new dictionary and all that, which I think is sort of not ideal. And so the pattern that I was talking about was a lot of times what'll happen is you'll set up a like something like this. It could be I mean RxJS, or it could be like um, some other a reference, like just a reference, and you have to destroy the whole thing and bring it back and create a new one over the top of the old one, so that because JavaScript can't really it, the way things are set up, it's pretty easy to recognize when the entire reference has changed. So it's a whole different object versus whether something inside of the reference changed. So with JavaScript, they sort of leave it on you to figure that out. And the default way that most people over the decades have come up to is by like creating an old one, kind of copying the old one into a new one, and then deleting it. Just in there's a whole bunch of different ways of doing it, but that's generally for 30,000 feet how that's done. I want to try something different. I would never do this at work. Um, but since this is just a personal project for me, a personal passion project for me, um, I think it makes a lot of sense. And what I was thinking, okay, so the pattern is that a lot of times people will create like a publishing thing, something to publish, and they'll publish something. And very often they start off publishing a primitive, so a string, a number, a boolean, something like that. And everything works fine. They're like, "Oh, okay, it all works fine." And then someone comes up with the bright idea. Well, instead of publishing a boolean, let's publish an object. And then it quits working. And the thing is the reason for that is because when you change like a primitive, it actually doesn't change it in the memory. It actually creates a new piece of memory and points to the new piece of memory. So the system can easily tell that something has changed. But if you change something inside of the object, then um, there's no change in references. So that's what I want to do. It is 8:49. So this publishes the IDs, and this is kind of how I had it. But what I want to do instead is when I'm publishing this visualization IDs, okay, I want to just get rid of this and go back to publishing the sequence dictionary. So I'm going to change this back to sequence dictionary. And there are like three huge things in JavaScript that I find to be insanely difficult to understand, and this is one of them. This is definitely like understanding that a lot of times you just don't notice things. Okay, so theoretically, so I believe what happened. So we went back, and so what should happen, I believe, is I can add one of these, and you see, but if I add a second one, we don't get it, and I add a third one. So if we go back here, we see we have three of them, but um, it still thinks there's only seven. And that's because this object itself didn't change. But I feel like what I could do is also add a visualization ID hash. And honestly, I've never seen this done before. Maybe it's one of those things like, oh no, everybody does that. That's something people have always done. Or maybe I made it up myself. And if I did make it up myself, then it's possible that um, um, that this is going to be great and it's going to be awesome and we're going to always love it, or it's going to be like, oh my God, that was such a mistake and this is why. Hopefully we can say this is why. Um, ideally, like if something doesn't work. But it seems like what I could do is take a hash of, and really what I could do is set hash. And I don't even know if this is going to work. Okay, so that's also going to be a Boolean, and it's going to take the sequence dictionary. And then, so the idea is that I'm going to call this return true. I'm going to call this thing, and I'm going to say I'm going to pass it the sequence dictionary. And so right now I'm not even thinking about like unit tests. I'm not thinking about end-to-end tests. I'm literally deep down into thinking about this only. And now I know the very first thing will be to const and hash um, JSON is equal to, I think it's JSON.stringify sequence dictionary. And then console log dot s, let's just say JSON, comma, CJSON. Okay, what the heck? S, oh, there's no capital on that S. All right, so now 12. So we have not done the thing yet. Let's go ahead and add one. Okay, and there's our JSON. Okay, so now I want to convert this. So I could just actually See, I think even if at this point, if I don't know, I just don't even know. But let's just do a hash because I don't know. I think hashes are kind of, it's kind of like thing that is really starting to become a thing. So I have an object in JS, and I used JSON.stringify. Stringify is a stringify. Stringify. It's actually ify. To convert it to a string. String now and now. I would like to do something along the lines of hashing it. So basically, it's unique, different. Basically, I wanted to be able to see if it's different. Previous calculation. Okay, so basically we have this hash function that it's willing. I feel like we might actually already have a hash function now that I think about it. Let's go look. Import. Okay, so we do have a hash service. Okay, so we've already done this. Okay, so we want to import our hash service. And like I said, I don't really know if this is like a bad path or good path. It's hard to tell. Okay, so we don't have any other services imported in this one. So keep in mind, we cannot, and see, this is a silly one, right? This should not be a service. This should be a class. This should be a potato, just a plain old TypeScript object, not injectable. But let's just go down that path. Okay, so it doesn't look like right now I'm pulling in the inject function. Inject function. So we bring in the inject function from core. And then over here, I like to make them first. My services. So private, what's it called? Hash service, colon, hash service. Make this a little h. That is equal to inject hash service. And then we should get a little blue guy here if I mouse into this. Yep. And we have our hash service. So then we can say equal to hash service, and I don't know why I did that. This dot. I wonder if I could have done that though. Dot get hash string. And we're going to give it the SD JSON. Then hash. And I think I want the hash to be first. And then let's come over here. And 12. Add viz. So our hash is don't see that. That's weird. Zone aware promise. I don't know. Is it? Oh, I think the hash service must be like a. What does this return? Oh, it returns a promise. Okay. So this is a hash promise, not a hash. And then our hash. I think we have to say let hash. Equals hash promise dot then? Yeah, then. And then we pass it this variable. Or pass it this function. And then I think this is like our result, which is a string, I believe. And we say hash equals result. And then now this is a little weird because it's going to return the result after this whole function is returned. So I don't know if we want to do that or not. But I am running out of time. So yeah, there's our hash. Okay, so let's add another one. So this one starts with DC and ends with 99. And this one starts with 1E and ends with FC. So the hash changed. You can see it's different. So I should be able to publish this, listen to this, and find a change. And once I find a change, update this data. We'll see. We'll see how that all works out. There's a lot of steps there. There's a lot of things that could go wrong, but we will see. Happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.